Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be looking at the all-new RAV4 TRD. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this RAV4. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Mitch. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 25 around town and then 32 on the highway, with power outputs being 203 horsepower at 6,600 RPMs and then 184 pound-feet of torque at 5,000 RPMs. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see that you've got these raised sections on either side, which look pretty cool. So popping down below, you guys can see cool LED daytime running lights, and the headlights actually pretty dang bright. You got fog lights just down below that. Notice the Toyota logo front and center, and then everything's kind of darkened on the front end, including this trim piece here at the bottom. And altogether, the RAV4 TRD is pretty cool looking. Coming around the side here, tire and wheel setup is 225/60/18 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the finish on the wheels, how you've got like that matte finish, which looks really cool. And then of course the TRD logo in the center. Now the TRD package also comes with TRD tuned suspension. You can see you've got these big beefy fender flares here with the splash guard, and then notice the trim there on the side as well. And you can see like the mirror cap has been blacked out. You do have some chrome trim there on the window, which is interesting, and then roof rails. And putting it all together, this thing looks pretty cool from a side view perspective, especially with those meaty aggressive all-terrain tires. And I guess here's a closer look at those all-terrain tires. So here's our key fob. You guys can see we've got our unlock function or lock function, the opening for the hatch, and then the RAV4 and Toyota logo there on the back. So we'll hold this down and bada bing, bada boom. So actually popping into the back here, we've got a cargo cover, and then you guys can see with the rubber covering down below, and it's got some mountains on it. That's pretty fun. But anyways, underneath, if I pick all of this up, you got a spare tire underneath, and I just noticed it says TRD Off-Road. That's also fun. And then we do have some outlet action, or some charging port action rather. And then when you're all done, just press that button right there, and it'll lower the hatch right back down. Now we've got these fancy taillights here with the RAV4. We have our TRD Off-Road badge here on the back as well, and then you guys can see the Toyota logo, chrome, interesting. Then you got the RAV4 badge on the other side, and then look at the dual exhaust tips here at the bottom. And putting it all together, I definitely think that this is a cool looking RAV4. Taking a look at the rear door panel, we've got this red stitching here, and then look at all of the padding, and then we've got our chunky grab handle here to close the door, and then notice you got RAV4 there above the speaker. Really cool stitching here on the headrest, and then you guys can see perforated in the center, and then look at the design in the very center there. Pretty neat. Legroom's pretty solid here, and we got these cool TRD mats in the back, and then you guys can see we've got some vents here and some USB action. And headroom back here is pretty solid. Would you look at this? We got a cup holder armrest. Now with the front door panel, again, you've got the red stitching, and then look at all of the padding. All of our window controls right here with our door lock and unlock. And then you've got your mirror adjustment right there. And then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. TRD there in the headrest, and then you guys can see perforated all down the center here, and again have that same cool design as the back. And then notice that the seats have red stitching, and then they are power adjustable. They're going really hard on these TRD Off-Road logos. And then notice you got the control there for the heated steering wheel, and then your hatch opening. Got this little storage thing, and then you got some red stitching there, and then steering wheel is manually adjustable. So here's the steering wheel. You guys can see really nice padding all around, and then you got darker stitching on the center portion. This does come with adaptive cruise control as well as lane keep assist. We've got stuff like our volume controls, voice command controls, some controls for the center stack as well. And then you guys can see turn signal light stock, and then windshield wiper stock. And then with the gauge cluster, notice how you've got like the red gauges. That looks pretty cool. And then you can see here in the center, you can see a bunch of different info on the RAV4 itself. And then we do have a bunch of different drive modes. So we have a snow mode. We also have a sport mode, which makes it red and aggressive. You got a normal mode and then eco mode. And then we have a mud sand mode. And then notice that shows us our all-wheel drive split with that torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. And then you have your rock and dirt mode as well. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution is actually pretty solid. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see response time with the screen is really solid. It's actually really easy to use as well. This is Toyota's newer unit that they're putting in all of their vehicles, and yeah, I'm a fan. More of that red stitching on the dash right here. And then you guys can see we've got our dual zone climate controls. And then down below that, we have heated and ventilated seats, and then our stability control button. And then you guys can see with the charging port action, then we got a little bit of storage space. Shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. Again, it does have a manual shift function. You got your parking brake here, your auto hold, and then your drive mode select at the top. And you can see here more on the side, your snow mode, your hill descent control as well. And then we got some more of that red trim with our cup holder action, and then look at the center console here. And then you guys can see a couple of USB ports. And then got storage above the glove box, which is pretty cool. And then got a big glove box. And then up top here, you guys can see we've got a manual mirror dimmer, and then we have a sunroof as well. Now here is the window sticker. You guys can see almost everything is standard equipment, and then this does have the TRD Off-Road weather package added to it. It gives you a de-icer function. That is interesting. Base MSRP $37,195, total MSRP $39,674, and let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors just do blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let's set off. And I'm going to be making a bunch of comparisons to the Adventure model RAV4. In that review, I said that I do that in this review because, well, super similar vehicles, super similar price. That Adventure, I think, was like $36,000. This is like $39,000. So there's not a huge price difference between them, but there is a pretty big feature difference. This has way more features. You have heated and cooled seats in this, whereas that just has heated seats. This has a sunroof, this has the bigger screen, and you've got the TRD tuned suspension and the off-road tires. The Adventure just has regular RAV4 suspension with regular street tires. And so just with like a spec to spec comparison, I feel like this is a better value because yes, it is more expensive, but I feel like you're getting way more for the money. That being said though, I actually like the coloration and the interior better on the Adventure, believe it or not, because it has like this cool like orangish bronze stitching, and then the seats aren't perforated. They have like they're just like the side material here on the seats, so then you're not going to get like dirt and debris and everything stuck in the perforations and all that. So that's more appealing to me as someone who actually takes vehicles off-road. But obviously, you know, it's going to boil down to, you know, which vehicle you personally like the best and which features makes the most sense for you. But like, that's just my personal opinion between both of them. But you know, as for this TRD package, as a package, and did someone steal my parking space? No, they didn't. I was gonna say, steal my parking space. I think this is a really cool package. So it looks great. I love the idea of it, and you know, let's be honest here. Most people that buy this are not going to take it off-road. They just want the cool looks, and they want the ability to, you know, maybe go down some dirt camping trails, and this would be great for that. Again, with the all-wheel drive system that it has, it'll be able to handle that super easily. And so overall, I think this is a really cool looking RAV4. I think that Toyota did this package right because they gave it a naturally aspirated engine, and which is reliable, and they gave it a torque converter automatic. They didn't give it a CVT or anything like that. Like that's what Subaru does with their off-roaders. They all have CVTs, and CVTs are okay on-road for fuel economy, but they're not great when it comes to off-roading. They struggle to put the power down off-road. And so this, you know, for a soft roader, I think that's what people call these, Toyota did this, they did this justice. And so yeah, if you were like looking at, I don't know, an Outback, for example, I would get this over like an Outback, because I think that this looks just as cool as the packages you can get on the Outback, and it has a better engine slash transmission combo. I know that Subaru people are gonna be like, no Ben, turbocharged engine, you can't beat that. And fair enough. Let me know which one you guys would choose. There you go. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this RAV4 TRD. Man, I really need to get a haircut. But anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to Larry Schmiller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this RAV4. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see ya.